Yo, Grand Rising. First live on this channel. We're gonna see how this goes. Well, we ain't gonna see how it goes, but welcome to the show. We are live today and tonight for our inaugural show on this channel. We are talking about, are men intimidated by a woman's money? I shot a video earlier today that was posted on the channel, and we're gonna see. We're going to go into a lot more detail here going live about whether or not a man is intimidated by a woman's money. Let me know when you come in. I see we got a few people already coming in. We're live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. They're not all on the same screen. YouTube and Facebook are on the same screen, but TikTok is over there. So if you see me looking left or right, that's all I'm doing is looking at and see if people are commenting on one of the other channels. But the question, let me know who you are when you come in. I see we got a few people already, but are men intimidated by a woman's money? Uh, Make sure you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I just plugged the microphone in, so I'm not sure. I didn't even check it to set it, but just let me know if you can hear me on Facebook and YouTube. But are men intimidated by a woman's money? I doubt it. North Carolina, glad you're in the building. You can hear me. Good. Yeah, I plugged this in after I started the live. So that's what we do sometimes. We do things on the fly. So I don't know if anybody saw the video that I posted earlier today where I was talking about, are men intimidated by a woman's money? So on another video, a young lady commented that men are intimidated by, she said most men are intimidated by a woman with money and a woman with high education. And although I did comment to her, I made it clear in the video that men, you do have some men who are intimidated by a woman with money and higher education, but I'm here to tell you that most men could care less about whether or not the woman makes more money than he does, or if she has a higher level of education. Uh, the little 6 minute video I did earlier today didn't dig deep enough into the conversation, but most of the time, men do not care about how much money a young lady makes. What we do care about is her attitude about that money. And that may be misconstrued as a man feeling intimidated by a woman who is successful financially or education wise. But it's actually not an insecurity when you're dealing with a real man, because as a real man, he could care less about how much money she makes. Her attitude towards it, how she portrays herself, what she thinks that having more money than the man gives her, that is what we care about. Is she there to build? Is she there as a co pilot? Or is she there as a passenger looking for the free ride? That's what we care about. We don't care about how much you make. The only reason how much you make would have anything to do with anything is the fact of what can we build together? What can we build together? You see, if we're not trying to build something together, then there's no reason for us to be together. There's none, absolutely no reason for us to be together. If we're not trying to stake out a life together for the rest of our lives. Because I want you to think about it for a second. Who is the only person that has a desire to be with you for the rest of your life? Now, some people may think, oh, my kids will be there for me for the rest of my life. I have a son who's in Washington State. I have daughters, four of them, who are in Georgia. They are not living day to day with me. They have no plans to live day to day with me. They don't plan for me to be with them for the rest of their lives or the rest of my life. They will live their lives. They will visit. They will call. They will be part of special moments. But my wife is the only person who is trying to be with me for the rest of my life. She's the only person I'm trying to be with for the rest of my life. So therefore, that person takes precedence over everything and anybody else. So therefore, I'm concerned about her mentality, her thought process, her attitude. So if we're not trying to build together for the longevity of the rest of our lives, then a woman who comes into the household and she's like, this is my money and you need to do this and you need to do that and I pay the bills, or you got to spend all yours and I get to keep all mine. If that's the mentality, nah, it's not intimidating. It's not intimidating at all. That's somebody I just don't want to be with because that person is not interested in being with me. That person is interested in what I can do for them, what type of finances I provide for them. They're not interested in us being a unit. So when you have that, you may think it's intimidating. That man is intimidated by whatever amount of money a woman makes, but he's not. I mean, and I definitely want to hear you guys' opinion here. I'm going to continue to pontificate until I get some questions or some statements from some of y'all about your thought process on this whole scenario. Now, there are some men who are intimidated by a successful woman. They feel like, and it's not so much intimidation as much as it's expectations. So let's say, okay, a lot of women today, single women today, their hobby is to travel. Okay, their hobby is to travel. Nothing wrong with that at all. You're a guy, you make about, let's say you make about $50,000 a year. You have your own house, you have your own car, you're paying all your bills, you have some money left over, you have some savings, you have some investments. You're not in a situation where you can travel, out the country 4 or 5 times a year. Once or twice, sure. 4 or 5 times a year, not so much. You meet a woman where she's been traveling 4 or 5 times a year out the country, traveling state to state 3, 4 times a year. You can't match that. So there's no reason to start dating that. It's not an intimidation of how much money she makes or what she's doing, how much money or what she's doing. It's the mere fact that you recognize that I can't match her travel. I can't match her lifestyle. So there's no reason for me to date her because all there's is just going to be problems because I can't match where she is financially or what she chooses to do with her money financially. Because it's not always just a situation of, oh, she makes more. It's also, I just don't want to match uh, that lifestyle. Just in the same way, there's a young lady I know of. She is on her ninth pass. Well, she's not gonna say ninth, that's too many. She is probably on her fifth passport right now. Fifth. Her house is completely paid for. Her cars are completely paid for. She has minimal bills. She doesn't expend her money on a bunch of stuff. She's never made over $40,000 a year. So how in the hell so she has the ability to travel. She's created her in her retirement through S&P investments over the last 40 years now. So she has the ability to travel and she does travel. That is her hobby. She only makes 40,000 a year. She does that. She's made wise decisions over her life. So the amount of money that a person makes doesn't necessarily make them a better person or someone to be intimidated by. That could be intimidating. You can give me a person who makes 50, $60,000 a year and somebody who makes $120,000 a year. That's depending upon how they utilize their money and how they've done it over the years. That person making 60 could have more wealth, and I've seen this many a times, have more wealth than the person who makes 120. And it really comes down to items like, in this mindset, the people that are in my mind right now, uh, the person who makes 120, once they start making that kind of money and they're in their late 40s, they decided to go and get a 30-year mortgage. Whereas the other person who's making about 60, they bought their house in their late 20s and their house is paid off. They didn't move around like a lot of people. They tend to move, and then they're buying a house and they're in their 40s, late 40s and 50s. And now you got this mortgage that's running you, um, $2,000 to $3,000. When I bought my first house in Florida, that mortgage initially was $976, and then got it redone with bought some points a few years later, and the mortgage wound up being 698. And so it's a 698 mortgage. 698 mortgage bought in 97. 698 mortgage is nothing now compared to what people are paying for mortgages today, right? So is when you make decisions like that, those type of wise decisions, that can determine whether or not how much wealth you have, how much flexibility you have. So are we really intimidated by somebody's money? No, men aren't intimidated by a woman's money. Not even slightly. Not a real man. If anything, you want a woman to have wisdom about her money. You want her to want to come together and y'all see what you can build about her money. Like, if there's any ladies on here, there are some, I can tell, but I got a question for you. If you marry a man today, let's say you're 40 years old, y'all decide to buy a house. That's a 30-year mortgage. House won't be paid off until you're 70, right? But that man has the wisdom to say that if we amortize this loan, we can have this house paid off by the time we're 55. And then after that, we have no mortgage. We will also invest 10% of our money into an S&P, and over the next 30 years of that investment, giving average 12% per annual, we will be set over $1 million, depending upon how much you're putting in there. Say you're putting $1,000 a month in there, you're going to, let's say 500, make it easier. Let's say 500 a month, you're going to have over $1 million in 30 years in that S&P account with a house that's paid off, and then y'all can retire comfortably at 55. But in order to do that, it takes both your incomes to do it. How many of you would be willing to do that? Especially if you make more than him. How many of you would be willing to do that? I'm really curious. Would you be willing to follow that advice? You see that this man has made good investment choices throughout his life, but because you're getting married, you want a new house. I want a house that neither one of us lived in, all that kind of stuff. But if he said, in order for us to do that, I still want to retire by the time I'm 55, and this is how we can do it, would you accept it? Are you willing to do that? Or is it, this is my money and I want to do what I want to do with my money, and you need to provide and you need to take care of everything, and you need to figure out how to do that on your own? Mariah said she would do it. Cool, cool. Good. I don't have my reading glasses on, so hopefully I'm saying your name right. Mariah. Okay. Right. Mariah says she would do it. That's what I'm talking about. See, that's why I say that this idea that men are intimidated is a fictional thing that has been generated by people who only see the negative side of life and only see the messed up things, right? Only see the ones that, they're still holding on to the bitterness of whatever happened in their life or the damage that they received from somebody, and can't see the big picture. Can't see that there are plenty of men out there who don't care about your money, who are not trying to be a hobosexual. Do y'all know what a hobosexual is? Now, is Mariah the only young lady who is willing to do that? That's it. Come on now. I know she can't be the only one who's willing to do that. And if you know what a hobosexual is, let me know if you know what a hobosexual is. Because there are some hobosexuals out there. There are some hobosexuals out there. And I know Mariah is not the only young lady who would agree to that. I know she's not. Can't be. That's an impossibility. And I know it because I've met plenty of people who are willing to do that. I have sat down with plenty of couples and showed them how they can amortize their home loans so that they can get it paid off within 15 years without. So don't do I'm gonna make an extra payment. There's a process, a way that you do that. Okay, D Vision said she would do it. Cool. Right. D Vision said a man that lives off a woman. That is pretty much a homosexual, especially when it starts getting cold outside. Is a man who moves from house to house to house to house, just looking for a place to live. He just wants a place to live. That's it. And he'll go from woman to woman to woman, looking for a place to live, to live, to live. That is a homosexual. If you got you one of them, you need to go ahead and let him get him on out the house because he's just going to be a drain. All right. Nakia says she'd do it as well. Good. This is what I'm talking about. See, this helps to dispel the whole myth that a lot of people run around thinking that men are just trying to take advantage of women, and that when you see um, a successful woman who's single, she's single because men are intimidated by her. They're not intimidated. They're not. I don't know if we got any guys on here, but they're not intimidated, not even slightly. You know. Oh, and by the way, if anybody wanted to come on, just let me know if you want to come on because that can happen. I do like to have conversation with people. All right. So I like the fact that you ladies would be willing to ride with a man when he has sound financial advice, knowing that, and of course, nobody's going to be right all the time. Sometimes you're going to make mistakes, but sound financial advice that you can follow, that you can do together, that you can build together. Because if you're not building it together, then why are you together? Really, like there's no purpose of being together if that's the case. But so when I was saying about amortizing a loan, I know this is not about financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. But if you have somebody telling you just to make that one extra payment a year on your mortgage, that's actually a trick. You're still paying all the interest unless you do it a certain way. You have to specify what principal payments that payment is for, and then when it's after you make it, 30 days later, ask for a brand new amortization schedule. Most of the time, they're not going to apply it the way that you asked for it to be applied. So then, when you get that new amortization schedule and you see that they haven't changed it, then squeaky wheel gets the grease. You have to go back to them. Hey, this payment that I sent to you, certified check, I got my receipt showing that my statement within it said for it to be applied to a principal payment January, whatever year, to February, March, April, May of whatever year, and y'all didn't apply it. You have to be on their butt every time. After about 5 or 6 times that you've been on their butt, they kind of figure out that they can't mess with you like that, and they go ahead and they do it right every time after that. But even every principal payment I've ever made, I have always made sure I ask for a new amortization schedule. So, um, but making those principal payments as often as you can will actually, that's what creates the situation for you to be able to pay off your mortgage and you get to skip out on all that interest. And it's just a simple thing. It's nothing major that you have to worry about, nothing major that takes a lot of time or energy to do. You just have to be willing to do the work. That's all. Willing to do the work. And if you got a man that knows how to do that or has learned how to do that, or y'all hear it from somebody, then you got to jump on it. I hate TikTok sometimes. I really do. It's not working right. Um, so, have any of you guys ever been in a situation where you thought that the man that you was with was intimidated by the money that you make? You know, have you ever felt like the man you was dating didn't want to be with you because he was intimidated by the money that you make? Because I'm quite sure 9 times out of 10, it wasn't the money. It wasn't the money. Uh, we live in a society in most countries, especially most industrialized countries, where people think that the money you make is part of your character. People think the job that you have is part of your character. What's up, Hugh? Your job, your education, the amount of money you make is not who you are. It's just something you've achieved. Now, your personality that allowed you to achieve it, that's part of who you are. But uh, the amount of money you make, that's not who you, that matters very little in the grand scheme of things as far as your personality. Now, how you treat people based on how much money you make, how much money they make, that's who you are. And when you're that person, that's why people don't want you. That's why a man wouldn't want to date you, wouldn't want to marry you. Because if the respect and peace only comes based on the amount of money that's made, he's not going to want to be with you. Texas Goddess, hey Texas Goddess, family on this channel too. Haven't experienced a man not wanting to be with me because of money. Outstanding, good, 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 good. Because it's not part of our psyche. It's not part of our psyche. D said no, but I've been in a situation where a man thought I was going to take care of him while I work, and it's a no for me. So let me ask you, what was his plan, D? Was he like just, hey, I want to live off you. I'm never going to work. I'm not trying to create nothing. I don't want to build nothing. I just want you to pay all the bills and I'm going to be a house husband. Like, what was that scenario for that? Texas guy said the money thing and competitive is a very Western construct. Yes, it is. Uh, well, is it really just a Western concept? There are some places where shared communities are more important. But if you think about some of the uh, less industrialized places, man want to marry a woman, I need 3 cows and 12 goats. It still comes down to some kind of monetary situation. Uh, but it's so patriarchal that you don't see it as much. But a rich father hardly ever gives his daughter to a poor man. So money still kind of plays a part uh, as far as the value of a person. Let's see. I have to sit back so I can see. No, every time we went somewhere, he was always acting like he didn't have money. Some of these men forget about impressing a woman. Hmm. Okay, I see what you're saying. So he was just trying to what was the Erica Badu song? You better call Tyrone. Every, he always wants you to dig down in your purse and pay your way and your homeboy's way. Gotcha. Yeah, see, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Um, there are plenty of ways of impressing a woman, but one of those things that you do want to do is be able to take her to things cost. There are plenty of things that don't cost, but you at some point you got to show her that you're trying to you know dine her, wine her, and impress her. There have been time frames where I didn't have as much money, and so, but what I would do is, hey, once we've gotten a secure knowledge of each other, let me invite you over. Got some flowers. I'm gonna cook you a meal. I'm gonna plate everything like I seen them do on television. Let me try to impress you. Let me take you on a picnic. There are plenty of ways of impressing, but sometimes the impression has to be, I'm going to take you to a really nice restaurant, or we're going to go away for a weekend and enjoy ourselves, or even an in-town stay, somewhere. So you can't always play the I don't have any money role. If a man is doing that, yeah, you need to leave him alone. That I'm glad. I'm assuming you left. You said that was a no for you, so I'm glad that you left him alone because uh, although it's not always about money, money does play a role in it. Sometimes you do need to, you got to pony up, you know, you want to go on a cruise or something, you want to do something, and you can't, if a man wants, if anybody, and here's the thing about me, if anybody wants anybody to always pay, that's problematic. That's problematic. And Dee said, that's right. Men think we are desperate for a man, so they think we'll settle for anything. And if they can find them little, there are some women who will take anything. They'll settle for it. And there are some men out there who will take advantage of that. That's not the kind of man you want. You're better off waiting. You're better off waiting to see. You know, there's too many people on the planet to have to settle for anybody. Right? No one should settle. And no one should act out of desperation. So yeah, you're right. I'm glad you stepped away from that situation. Could even KMB, you know, Africa, you have to pay a year's wages to a parent for, yeah, that dowry. And it's not just in Africa where you have to, where there are dowries. There are other places. You can still find that in many parts of India, throughout Asia, that people are still paying dowries in order to marry someone. So money has always had its role to play. And since we live in, since most of us live in countries where everybody has the opportunity to earn, we can't let money be the thing that creates separation between us. You know, if you're looking for true love and commitment, money has very little to do with it. Very little. It's only, the only thing money can buy is comfort, right? It can buy you comfort. It can buy you peace. It can buy you, well, if you know how to use it, it can buy you peace. But money can't. I don't like using the term saying that money can't buy me happiness, because that's a lie. Because the more money I have, the happier I'm going to be, because there are other things that I want to do, experiences I want to have that require money. So money is required to live, but money shouldn't be the thing that divide a couple up, that divides your household, right? Just because one person makes more than the other, right? Texas guy said there are plenty of women who will finance a man. They just don't make it public until the man leaves and upgrades to another woman. See, that's that hobosexual. And don't get me wrong, the hobosexual comes in many forms. The hobosexual can show up in a really nice suit, driving a really nice car, living in a really nice place, and yet still be a hobosexual. So don't think the hobosexual shows up with work boots on, some regular looking jeans, and a pullover t-shirt and a baseball cap. That hobosexual can show up looking pretty damn nice. You just have to be patient enough to watch the hobosexual in action, right? Because exactly, KM, that representative will show up, you know. Uh, there was a time when a young lady thought that I was possibly being a hobosexual. She thought that in her mind. Um, so in 2015, uh, the business I had at that time suffered greatly. Right, I had to move the location. The location I moved it to, I suffered over $100,000 annual loss. So to save money, I decided to take the office in the back of my shop and turn that into a bedroom. There was a LA Fitness across the street, so that's why I took my showers and everything. And when we started dating, her mindset, she thought that she thought that I needed to move in with her, right? And I would go and, spend some time there, and, I would put some money into the house, and then the time there started being more and more. And then when she got mad, yeah, she did, D. Then when the time started becoming like I was at her house more often, and then she got mad one night, And in her anger, she was like, "Oh, are you just dating? You just talking to me because you just needed a place to stay." The things that I had at her house, because see, I'm very direct. You know, you say something to me, I take you for exactly what you say. I didn't say a word. I grabbed whatever things I had in my house, in her house. I grabbed them up, went outside, got in my car, drove to my store where I had a full bedroom and everything set up. And because of the type of business, I had kitchen and everything. And I went right back there. And then when she came apologizing, I told her, "Nah, don't worry about it." So you think that I needed a place to stay? I didn't need a place to stay. I purposely choose to live in my store because I'm building something here. And that's when I realized that she can't be a co-pilot in my life, right? I realized she would never be a co-pilot in my life because she didn't have the mindset to understand that I'm living in my store. Even after I explained to her when I first met her, I live in my store because I'm building this business. And because I'm building it, I'm eliminating cost. The cost that I don't need, especially since I work 12 hours, 12, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. What do I need an apartment for? What do I need, to rent a house for? So, you know, I ain't had time for that. So I moved on. Coach, you said you put your wife out before. Now this. D, I didn't put her out. All right. She decided that her father was going to have more authority in our house. So I just went and brought her stuff to her while she was at her dad's house. And I told her, "You can stay here." I never told her she couldn't come to the house, come back home. I never told her, even when I dropped the stuff off, because when I left, she could have gotten to the house if she wanted to. When I brought her stuff back, she could have said, "You know what? I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I want to go home." No, she sat right there and just took her stuff and went in the house. A few days later, then she comes showing up at the house. We talked and everything, worked itself out for a while. And then we went to counseling for about 5 years. And then that marriage ended. But I didn't put her out. She chose to be there. I would never put anybody out of the house in that format. So, no. But I understand how that video, now for you to say that, I understand how that video could sound like I put her out. I just took her stuff to her since she wanted, that part. Would you come back? Would I come back? Come back to when the young lady thought that I was trying to be a homosexual. No, I never spent another night in her house ever again. I would no, I was done. We had a few more conversations, but I was done. I was done. Yeah, I don't. Once you show me who you really are, I accept that I accept you for who you are, and that's a hard thing for people to do because they emotionalize things so much. But once you show me who you really are, I just accept it. You know. Now, depending upon the situations, like I was saying with the young lady where she wanted to let her father have more authority in the house, than either one of us, we came back. She came back to the house. We talked about things. We started counseling, went through counseling for 5 years, and until she finally just admitted that basically one of my friends gave her the playbook on how to be on what kind of wife I wanted and how to be a wife to me. And she played the playbook. And then once we got married, she realized that then she wanted to go to be her regular self. So after 5 years of counseling, she finally just told the counselors that this is just who I am, and he just needs to love me for who I am. And I was like, I would have never. And they asked me, would you have dated her being who she is? And I told them no, I would have never dated her being who she is. So we would have never gotten to the point of dating. If she was if she didn't have that playbook, then she would have never known what to do. So, and here's what's funny. Let me go back on this one a little bit. I actually had met her about two years prior. And when I met her 2 years prior, I thought, okay, you're a nice lady, but you're not the kind of person I would ever date. So now 2 years later, our mutual friend tells her everything to do in order to intrigue me. So at her father's house, that was just the first thing that happened that I was like, okay, this is different than the person that I dated. Yeah. And then the next shoe dropped, and the next shoe dropped, and the next shoe dropped, and shoes just kept dropping. And after enough shoes dropped, and we're going, and all these shoes are dropping while we're in counseling, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, who is this person? Because this is not the person I had met years ago. But we can, and I'm very transparent about things like that because I learn from my mistakes, but I hope people can learn from my mistakes and not make them, right? Don't make my mistakes. I remember Coach saying he threw his wife clothes in the trash bag. Yeah, that's the same situation. I didn't throw them in a trash bag, throw them on the curb. See, we exaggerate my stuff. I'm curious, what were those things in the playbook? Okay, so now I said I'm very transparent. So don't get all up in your feelings when I tell you stuff and think that I'm giving some TMI, all right? So some of the things that are about me. I am not the kind of person who will ever get a job. I will build a business before I get a job. All right. Now I will get one temporarily if I have to, but 99% of the time, I'm going to build a business. So if you're the kind of person that thinks that I should have a job, then or that believes in having a job and working a job for 20, 30 years and getting the gold watch and you need that kind of stability of a guaranteed paycheck like that, I'm not that guy. I'm not the kind of person who would do that. Uh, so you have to be willing to understand and roll with my entrepreneurship mentality. Uh, I have 3 children. That time frame, I had 3 children. You have to understand that a blended family comes with me. If you don't understand, I have 3 kids, but know that my kids will never take precedence over a wife. You can't be with me. So you got to be involved with my kids because I'm very, especially they were little at that time. I was very involved with my children. I have a high libido. So if you are once a week, twice a week, you shouldn't be with me because that's not going to work. All right. If you are the kind of person that can only go out on on a Saturday, Friday, Saturday, or something like that, you shouldn't be with me because I would go out just because it's Tuesday, right? I'll sleep when I'm dead. So you can't be boring. If you dress like an old lady, you shouldn't be with me. Not that you should be showing all your nakedness, but you know, I need you. I like a woman who is confident in her dress and confident in who she is. And the way a person dressed often demonstrates that confidence. And because I like to go places, you're gonna need some clothes. And like everybody have their preferences. Some guys don't like, I don't like sneakers unless we're going to the gym. I really don't. Every now and then, sneakers in certain outfits, and depending upon where we're going, like we live in San Antonio now. If we about to go to City Walk and it's daytime and we're just walking around, and my wife put on some sneakers, I'm fine with that because I don't want your feet to be hurting. But if we're gonna go out to a nice little spot, what you got on sneakers for? You know, and it's weird here in San Antonio because these people don't know how to dress. Just to be honest, they really don't. It's weird, but they don't know how to dress. Melinda said, "Child, keep it." But those are just some of the things. Those are just some of the things. I'm very adventurous, so when we met, she lived on one side of town, I was on the other side of town, and it didn't matter. It's a Tuesday, boom, she's at my house. It's a Wednesday, boom, I get off work, I go to her house. It's Wednesday wind down downtown Atlanta. We finna go downtown. We're gonna chill out at Wednesday wind down in the park until about midnight. You know, I got my kids with me during the summer, and it doesn't matter that both of us got to be at work at 6 in the morning. We finna have a good time, you know. And so Thursday, oh, is I don't know, it's throwback a bottle Thursday or something. Anything, we finna go there and have a good time. I love to live life, right? So if you're not up to living life, I'm not the kind of guy. I was just talking to my wife earlier today, right? And I told her, what do you think about doing a round the world cruise? Like in 2026 or 2027. Like we just shut everything down and just go on a round the world cruise. Like I like doing shit like that. I'll just do something like that. You can't roll with it, you shouldn't be with me. And so after about 6 months of being married to that young lady, all of a sudden, I hate flats, okay? Especially the little loafers. All of a sudden, flats every day, pants every day. Summertime, sundresses, no sundresses. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I can't go out. I can't go out. Or Friday, oh, I need to rest up because I had such a hard week. Saturday, okay, we can do something, and that's the only day we can make love. And then, oh, Sunday, oh, I gotta rest up because my week, I gotta do so much during the week. I was bored, and I'm the type that be like, well, you know what? I want to go here, so I'll see you later. I'm going here, so I'll see you later. And you get tired of going places by yourself, you know? Yes, I'm very upfront. But you get tired of going places. I wish men were forthcoming about their high maintenance sex drive, and men should. Like chakra, are you this chakra con? Men should be upfront about their sex drive. I think women should be upfront. Put it like this: everybody should be upfront about their sex drive. Me too, coach. I need you in my high heels at Burger King. In your high heels at Burger King, exactly. But sex drive. Everybody should be upfront about their sex drive. If once or twice a week is good for you, especially like let me know that before we get emotionally involved. Because if we've been going out for like a week or two and we have a conversation, with me, I was having that sex conversation within the first week. Like hey, and I would tell the young lady, we're not about to have sex, just to let you know. And that's not why I'm asking you this question. But I need you to be honest and tell me in a dedicated relationship, not when everything's brand new and you're all like, whoo, but long term, what's your real sex drive? If once a week, twice a week, and you good, you don't even want it, and you ain't gonna give it, I need to know. Because once a week, twice a week, and then you playing the denial game, it's not gonna work with me. So before any emotions get involved, let's go ahead and have this conversation so that we can walk away without somebody getting their feelings hurt. See, that's why a lot of conversations need to be had early. I'm in full regalia just to check the mail. Exactly. Y'all should have seen Angelina go and check the mail the other day. Oh, nice little dress on and everything with her little wedges and stuff. I think she had on wedges. I don't know what she had on. I just know she was looking good. I'm telling y'all, these people in San Antonio can't dress either. I know, and I said it before, but we just went to Total Wine to pick up some stuff, and people like, oh, you guys, this was yesterday. Oh, wait, your guys are dressed. Where you're going? I wish I was going there. I ain't had a heart to tell them, dude, this is like every day. This is everyday wear. We ain't even dressed. Right? Terce's girl living in Texas. How long should you date before having sex, in your opinion? Oh, wait. I'm gonna get to that one. And I see what you said. Twice a week is torture. Yeah. How long? Let me put it like this. I don't think that there is a time limit. Yeah, I know some people they not bought into the 90-day rule, this and 30-day rule that or whatever, but it's going to depend on each individual person and the maturity of the conversations that you have with one another. Um, Personally, never went more than, I never went 90 days. Shit, never went 30 days. And it's not because it was planned or pushed, it just happened. You know, it's just like the natural flow of the conversations and the relationship. It just happened. I wasn't trying to not have it on a certain time frame. And I don't know if I've never had a woman tell me that there was a rule that she doesn't have sex within a certain time frame. It just kind of happened organically, right? But maybe because I have a very upfront conversation within the first few conversations, I've never experienced that, but most people don't. So what I would say is you should have, the time frame should really be based on how soon or how long it takes for y'all to have a very upfront and honest conversation, and you truly feel that person is being honest with you about their sex life, their sex drive, what they're dating for. Are they looking for a husband? Are they looking for a wife? Do they want children? Do they not want children? Where do you want? How do you see yourself retiring? Do you want to retire? You plan on, what's your outlook on everyday life? Do you, just that whole conversation about who you are. So until you really know, until you feel like you know that person well enough that you can have sex with them, fine, then you can. Um, and then it depends on what mode you're in. Are you just dating, or are you trying to have a long-term relationship? If you just dating, you just out here just having fun. Who gives a shit when you have sex with them? Because you ain't trying, you just trying to have fun. So you just looking for a sex partner. But if it's a situation where you are looking for dedication, then wait until you know whether or not that person at least has some strong compatibility. I would never say wait till you get legally married before you have sex, because you wouldn't want to be legally married to some dude and then he ain't got no stroke game. His stroke game is off. You know what I'm saying? He 10-second tongue. Do you want to be married to 10-second tongue because you wanted to wait till he's married, till you get married? Hell no. Or do you want to spend 6 months or a year waiting, and then you got 10-second tongue? I'm just saying. Just like you got to try out their personality when they get angry, you got to try out their personality when they're happy. You want to try out their personality around your family, around your kids, around your friends, around. You better try that ping ping out. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a damn sure try that poom poom out before I marry you. There ain't no way in hell. I gave a girl a week and a half before I started smashing hookers. I'm not. No. Before you stop. But if you let him bust your cheeks on the first night, he's going to think you're a hoe. I will say that most men may think that. Well, let me rephrase. I think that most people will think that, most men think that. But depending upon the personality of the woman, I don't think so. Has it ever happened to me where first date went in? Yeah. Did I ever think that the woman was a hoe? No, never. I've never thought a woman was a hoe just because we had sex on the first date. Because if I think that she's a hoe, then I must be a hoe too, right? Like I said, most men are undisciplined. They want to eat. They want to eat the cookie 10 times a day. You know, when you got that nice warm cookie, it is something that's kind of addictive. Uh, is it being sexually undisciplined, or is that just their sexual appetite? You know, I think now, as long as a person, the only time I think a sexual appetite is a problem for any individual person is when it causes them to do things that are harmful to themselves and other people. If you got a person who he wants to eat the cookie 10 times a day and she want him to eat the cookie 10 times a day, there's no problem. Shit, that's a sexual match made in heaven. Goodness. Oh, I'm trying to catch up with some of y'all. It's hard to find that honest conversation. Well, it is hard. most people are afraid of the judgments that other people are going to have about them if they tell the truth about themselves. Um, so if you can create a situation where the person feel comfortable to know that, hey, let's have an honest conversation. Let's see if we're actually compatible on the first levels, and just be open and honest about these subject matters, and in a safe environment where I'm going to trust you with some of my things, and hopefully you can trust me with yours, and we can really determine whether or not we should move any further, right? Like I remember in the dating process of talking to this young lady, and after about a week, she was like, she had stopped dating her previous guy because she thought he was too boring. But then when she listening to me, she was like, "Nah, you too out there. So I'm gonna go back to the boring guy." But it was fine. And then for years, I still saw her coming by my business, and it was like fine. It was no big deal. We were good. But we established that right off the bat. I'm from Atlanta, but we established that right off the bat. So if you make a person feel comfortable enough to tell their truth, and one of the ways is for you to tell yours, is to trust them enough to tell them something about you that is shows vulnerability, but it's not going to kill you if people find out. And some men want us to dress conservatively. I just did a video today where I was saying that don't try to change the way a woman dresses. If a woman dresses conservative, then let her be conservative. If you're not attracted to that, then leave it alone. If a woman dresses scantily, then and you're not attracted to that, leave her alone. Let her be with a man who's fine with however way she dresses. Um, so Chakra Khan, you are asking why does the Bible tell us to wait until we're married, and now you're telling us the opposite of what God's word. I'm confused. There shouldn't be any confusion because my page is not a religious page. This page is just in general, because there are people on this page who follow the Bible. There are people who don't follow the Bible. There are people who follow the Quran. There are people who follow the Vedas. And so I don't specifically tell people to follow the guidelines of anything outside of what they believe. Now, if you follow the Bible, then I will say that you should do it according to the Bible. You should follow that. And in that understanding, because I do know a lot about every religion, well, I ain't gonna say every, but most, but all the big ones. Um, According to most religions, the moment you have sex with someone, you're married. There's no marriage ceremony. There's no, giving away of the bride and asking permission, bended knee and rings and that sort of thing. The act of having sex is marriage. So therefore, if you're following, and that's the same thing in the Quran, the Vedics, and everything else. So I try to keep religion out of this page, off this page, because everybody should follow their own religion. And if you want to, well, you have the choice of following. And if you want to follow it, follow it. But I'm just talking about the reality of how people function. We know that most people are having sex legally married and not legally married, because that's the only difference. Is legal by the United States governments of the different states, whatever state you're in, you know. So my zodiac sign is a Libra. So men are intimidated. He's confused. Okay. And then you make a statement. Men are intimidated by me and has always been because I'm independent, but that's crazy because they don't know me. Um, it's hard to determine whether or not they're intimidated by you without further investigating the situation. I mean, are they intimidated by you, or do they just not like your personality? You know what I mean? Um, let's say, not saying that you are P arm. I'm gonna call you P. Not saying that you are, but let's say sometimes you meet these women who say, I'm an independent woman, but they're very loud and boisterous. I'm not intimidated by it. I just don't find that attractive, right? Or let's say you're the type of woman that within a conversation you say things like, "I don't need a man. I don't need a man for this. I don't need a man for nothing." Okay, that's not attractive to me. So it's not intimidated as much as just not attractive to it. You know, if if a person is telling me all the time, "I don't need a man. I don't need a man." Okay, then why are you talking to me? Because I'm a man and I'm saying I need a woman. Like for some reason, we've made it shameful for somebody to say, "I need a man" or "I need a woman," and I think that's ridiculous. You know, I need a wife, plain and simple. I can be perfectly happy by myself. I can take care of myself. All those things are fine. I can do them. But to enhance my happiness to the level that I want my happiness to be at, that I desire for it to be, that requires a wife. It requires a wife for me to get to the height of happiness that I desire to have. So I need a wife. And I don't give two shits about what anybody thinks about the fact that I need a wife, but I need one. Because I don't want to be out here trying to date everybody. I don't want to have a woman to come in here and cook. And then I got a different one to clean. Then I got this one I have sex with on Monday. And this one is on Wednesday. And this one is on Thursday. And this is my Saturday one. And then I ain't got time for all that. I want my wife. I want the chick that I can sit on this back porch and fight off these big giant ass Texas mosquitoes y'all got around here. That woman. All right. Mayway said, I need a man always. Exactly. Do you feel that men have issues with dating plus size women? Some men will sleep with a plus size woman, but is ashamed of them, in my opinion. Not all men. Um, Physical beauty is so jacked up in our world. The television, the radio, the music industry, the acting industry, all these things, the fashion industry has taught us what physical beauty is. Now, in black world, usually that physical beauty is not the same as white physical beauty. We like them thicker. Now, once a certain size hit, you have a lot of men who will have sex with a plus size woman, but doesn't want anybody to know, just like you're saying. And that's on those men. That is cruel. You should never have sex with someone that you will be ashamed to admit it, right? So if you are ashamed to admit it, it's because you're concerned about what other people think. And you shouldn't give a damn about what other people think. If you are interested enough to have sex with her, then be confident enough to know that you can express it, you can say it. If people find out, you don't give a damn. You see, you don't want a man who would be embarrassed because he has sex with a plus size woman and wouldn't want to tell anybody, but yet he likes a plus size woman. That bastard is a liar to himself. He's a liar to himself and you don't want him because he's too concerned about what other people think and what other people have to say about it. Now, if he's just an asshole and just having sex just for the sake of having sex, and then he just want to kick you to the curb, then you save yourself from dealing with an asshole. But most of them who do that is because they like it, but they too concerned about other people. And if that's the case, he's going to let other people's concerns, he's going to let the super ego dictate your life together if you were to stay together. And he's always going to push for you to be something that he really doesn't like or doesn't like that much. He wants the plus size woman. He enjoys the plus size woman. But society, the super ego of society is forcing him to think that there's something wrong with that. And that's weakness. And when it comes, and one thing that you guys will learn about me, uh, I am biased as hell. I will give a woman more leeway than I will give a man. That's my biggest bias. I will give a woman more leeway than I give a man. A woman who allows for society to dictate some of her movements, I will give her more chances and more room to navigate that. But a man, you get none. You get no leeway for allowing society to dictate how you function in your house, and you get zero when it comes to how you function with your family, especially your wife. So if you are dealing with a man like that, Bounty, you need to leave that fool alone, because he's going to be allowing everything that society says to come into your house and mess up your house. And you don't want to deal with that. You don't want to deal with that at all. But speaking of listen, honest man, appreciate it, appreciate it. I try. I'm going to always be honest, whether it makes me look good or bad. I don't care. Now, I will say something that Chakra Khan said. Being plus size is, look, let's be honest, this is not body shaming at all. But I do hate how, especially in the black community, we are carrying more weight than we should, and we're dying early. We got more complications of heart disease and diabetes and all these sorts of things. We need to bring it down. We need to shrink. America in general needs to shrink. I got about 25 that I'm getting rid of. But we need to do better about our health. That is a definite. It's not, I'm not trying to body shame anybody. It's just a true reality. And most of our wine is horrible. I mean, most of our wine, because damn it, because Texas got I'm thick and fine like wine, like aged wine. We we need to do better about our health, and most of us are carrying too much weight. We eat way too much meat. That's for damn sure. I would never tell anybody to be vegan. I'm like 90. I used to be. See, Angelina came in my life. She messed me up. I used to be like 99% vegetarian, but damn, that woman can cook. So, and I know she's not forcing me, but it's good. But we do need to do better about that. So, I'm on a journey right now, losing 25 more pounds. I've already lost about 15, but now 25 more, because we want to be healthy. My man likes me nude. Ain't nothing like a nude woman. Trust me. If y'all were to come knocking on our door, you might have to wait a little bit, because probably got to put on some clothes. I don't like clothes. Well, I'm single. I just had to make sure I wasn't missing something. I'm a plus size woman, but it's just amazes me how men can be. They are, some men can be that way, and if they're ashamed of you, of your size, they're really ashamed. They're ashamed of themselves. Always, you should always be with somebody who loves you for you, who likes you however you are, however you choose to be. And put it that way, however you choose to be. Men are not intimidated. It's a man's natural state to provide. If he is a real man, but if he is a real man, but no, a man shouldn't be intimidated if she is not throwing it in a man's face, and she has a passion for something. Exactly, Shanice. Uh, we're not intimidated, and men do like providing. Men like to be needed. Like I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret. I'm probably breaking a little bro code here, but one thing that men look for is a woman that makes him feel useful. That she's like, I need you to handle something. You take care of something in my life. Providing is an easy one. Yes, providing, but we want to feel useful. You know, Angelina can be on the back porch right now, and one of these big ass Texas water bugs can come out from up under the porch, and I know she can handle it. But just give me a call. I'll be right down there. I want to be you. It's a good thing to feel useful to your woman, and most men love that feeling of being of feeling useful. Kind of like how most women love the feeling of being appreciated. We love that feeling of being useful. When when she can't reach something, and I'm like reaching up there, like, I got it, shorty, don't worry about it. You get taller, one day you'll be able to get it. It's a good little feeling. It lasts for, it's a good feeling. I'm gonna lose 15 pounds with you, King. All right, all right. Now don't start that around here, Texas. Don't start it. Don't start it, because we'll get a little challenge going on. We'll get a little challenge going. You're gonna start practicing that one this weekend. Okay. We'll get a little challenge going. We'll have the relationship workout challenge. Especially we getting ready to go to the holidays. I'm telling you right now is the best time to get started. You want to get started before the holidays kick in, because you know how it is during the holidays. Everybody's shoving everything towards your face, and them commercials be looking good. Right now is the best time to find yourself a workout routine. Yes, ladies and Steve, please stop telling your man to call the plumber or electrician. Let him try, even though he doesn't know what to do. So, yes, and there's YouTube University. If there's something I don't know how to do, I'll figure it. I can go to YouTube and you can pretty much figure out how to do some plumbing work, electrical work, as long as it's something simple. Now, if it's something major, I'm gonna call somebody. Like, actually, right now, my car is being worked on. Well, our car is being worked on. And now, when it comes to working on the car, I'm not doing it. You want me to put some fuel oil in it and some fuel? I got you on that. Taking shit apart on the car? No, I'm not doing that. But yes, give your man a shot. Give him a shot. As long as it ain't nothing that's gonna burn the house down, or give him a shot. Let him feel useful. What do you know about a porch? Because I got two. Let's challenge. Oh no. Most of my videos are shot on the back porch because that's where we spend most of our life. And we moved to San Antonio a month ago, and y'all got these big giant ass water bugs, and they don't know how to stay off the porch when we on the porch. And y'all got these giant ass mosquitoes, and my arms and stuff been getting ate up. Y'all need to fix this shit. Let's challenge. All right. Okay. All right. Challenge accepted. We gonna do this. Give me I used to be a personal trainer, so you better, you may not want to challenge me on that one. This channel is so beneficial to women like me who never had any positive male role models. Oh, thank you very much, Shaka Khan. I appreciate that. I appreciate that greatly. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys. Lace weigh in on December 1st. Bet. Why we gotta wait December 1st? Why you gotta wait December 1st? What's today's date? Today is the 19th. Well, you ain't gotta wait December 1st. See, you're saying December 1st because you want to go and eat Thanksgiving how you want to eat Thanksgiving. I know that trick. It's gonna be like, what's today? Today is Wednesday, Tuesday? Weigh in gonna be on Saturday. This Saturday weigh in. Thank you, Bounty. I appreciate that. Yep, I tried it. This, now that I'm semi-retired, this is what I plan to do until I can't talk no more. It's running my mouth. I've always wanted to do this. Yeah, we're about in Texas. Are you in Texas, May Wade? I burnt the kitchen trying to fix the toaster, but at least we know we need a new one. You have to be able to, you want to give your man an opportunity to try to feel useful around in the house. Don't call the plumber. Let me try to unclog that drain. Especially when a man has been around, like I've been around. I'm 53 years old now, and if I want to change that ceiling fan up there, when I was in my early 20s, I tried to change the ceiling fan without turning the breaker off. And I learned that hard lesson of getting electrocuted a little bit. So now at 53, I know how to handle changing the the ceiling fan out, certain plumbing work, I know how to handle it, but I had to learn, in my 20s, I had to learn some of those things. So let a man learn. A man not bashing women is a plus. Nah, I don't want to bash anybody. My plan is my plan on this channel is that sometimes there will be some hard truths. Now, hard truths, I'm gonna give some hard truths, but bashing, there's no cause for that. Everybody deserves to be respected, and for me, is if people, whatever energy people put out to me, that's what you're gonna get. Now, you come at me wrong, you're gonna catch me wrong, But I want to, try to be helpful to people instead of trying to bash some people. There's no reason to bash anybody, but reality does needs to hit some people though. We do need some reality. When we want to start Saturday, weigh-in is on Saturday. I already know my shit is over 260, but weigh-in is on Saturday. Yes. Yes. Who else is going to join us in this fitness healthy challenge? Yeah. Who else want to join in on getting healthy and, mentally and physically healthy? Because what I used to tell my clients all the time when I owned a gym and I was a personal trainer was, if you can learn to control your body, then you can control the rest of everything else in your life, right? So control your body, control your life, because everything about controlling this it starts with your mindset. So if you can control your mental life as far as your health is concerned, you can then have better control over every other aspect of your life. And trust me, many of my clients started having better relationships with their husbands and wives and their children and workplace and everything else because they learned how to use their mind to strengthen whatever resolve they had to achieve whatever their desires they had in life. I'm in Bryant, Texas, home of Texas A&M Aggies. I will have to look that up because I have no idea where that is. I'll catch y'all after Thanksgiving. See, that's what May Wade tried. She wanted to get to Thanksgiving first and get that Thanksgiving grub on. But Bounty said about me not bashing. Now, when I was a personal trainer, I get all over. I was mean, and people call me sadistic sometimes, and I got called every name in the book, and I didn't care. As long as you get it done the way I want you to get it done, that's all that matters. All right. But gonna wait till after Thanksgiving. All right, fine then, fine. I screenshotted. I'm going to weigh in on Saturday with you. I'm a YouTuber. My weight will be on my page. All right, for you to see. All right, that's what we doing. I'll make sure that I shoot a video when I weigh in on Saturday, so you can see it too. So there won't be no lies detected. No lies will be detected. It's easy to see that this guy King is healed. He has done the inner work. It would be good if all people could do the inner work to learn from their life experiences and not carry over the emotional baggage from one relationship to the next relationship and continue in that process. Okay, Shaka Khan gonna join. Good. Join in. Because it really, the first part of it takes you being honest with who you are. More and more you're honest with who you are and are accepting of both the good part of you and the shadow part of you, the better off you'll be. That's what let me rephrase. That's what it's going to take in order for a person to truly heal. You have to be completely honest with yourself. Like, to give you an example, there are so many people who have been in bad relationships, and the other person could have been far worse than them in that relationship. But how much time do you spend looking at yourself and seeing what areas in the relationship you messed up? Most people won't. Most people will sit there and it's like, oh, well, he cheated on me, or she cheated on me, or he took my money, or she took my money and was a gold digger. But do they ever look and see what part that they play in the true reason that the relationship had that problem, because the cheating and all that kind of stuff is really symptoms of something else. So what's the root of it, and what part did you play? So that in your next relationship, because if somebody keeps cheating on you and cheating on you and cheating on you, at some point you got to look back at you. If somebody keeps gold digging you and gold digging you, at some point you need to look back at you. So in order to really heal, as we like to say, you have to do your inner work and recognize where you have been the problem, or what part of the situation you played the problem, you know. So that's one of the things I have in any time, even if I'd only talk to somebody for like a week or 2 weeks, because for me, when I first got married, I was 19 years old. I was married for 17 years. So I didn't start dating until I was an adult, right? So I'm in my 30s, the first time I ever dated as an adult, because this was like high school into marriage. So I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So even when I just talked to somebody for a week and it didn't work out, I would go back and look and say, okay, what was it about me? What did I do that could have caused that to not work out? Like, I evaluated every situation. And the first person I always look at is myself. When I did date someone for a longer time frame and then things didn't work out, well, let me see, was I too pushy? Was I too open, too transparent? Uh, are my expectations too high? Like, let me look at myself first. And because I've always looked at myself first, I wind up being able to see the relationship really how it fell apart. And then I can see my part in it and decide if that's something I want to change about myself. Are there ingredients that are allowed in the United States but illegal in Europe, like Wingstop, Taco Bell, Popeyes, have all failed in Europe? Actually, yes, there's like over 100 different ingredients that are illegal in most other countries, but you consume it all the time in America. American food is horrible. Um, Americans, we eat stuff that other people in other countries don't eat. When I lived in Germany for 3.5 years, that was the healthiest I've ever been in my entire life. Is during that time frame, and I wasn't even vegan or vegetarian. I wasn't. I never been vegan, but I wasn't even thinking about being a vegetarian at that time frame. I was eating pizzas and hamburgers and doner kebab sandwiches. I was tearing up everything, eating everything. Go to Italy and just lose my mind, eating gelato constantly. Gelati, but I was the healthiest I've ever been when I lived there. The ingredients that goes in most of our foods and that you find in the grocery store are horrible. So yeah, it's going to be hard. Yep, we all need to be honest. Exactly, Jackie. You're only dating men in their 50s. We are the best men, the ones in their 50s. We are the sublime. But beware, there are some fools in their 50s. So age doesn't make a man wise. Age doesn't make a man wise. You subscribed earlier today. You like the content. Thank you. I appreciate this for you for subscribing. But yeah, age don't make us wise. So you still have to have good discernment, Shaka Khan, even when you're dealing with an older man, because there's some stupid 50-year-olds out there. I know some of them. Owning a cigar lounge and being able to sit and have roundtable conversations with these men and sit there for 10, 12 hours a day and we having conversations. I came to realize that a lot of older men are stupid and immature as well. I ain't gonna say a lot, but there are some older men who are stupid and immature as well. So you still got to put that discernment. You got to put that in there. Oh, thank you. You have a nice night too, Wade. See you soon. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say that about half of the bad relationships that a woman has went through and half of the hurt that she has been through is because she had bad discernment. You was looking with some rose colored lenses. You had some bad discernment. And I know you like to say, oh, well, he. You gotta watch him. You gotta listen to him. You got to see if their actions match up with their words, because a lot of people actions don't match their words. You know, you got to pay attention to how they are with their family members, how they treat their friends, how they treat their coworkers. You know, you got to watch people. And I'm gonna say, you can avoid a lot of bullshit if you just give people enough rope to either. And I'm gonna put this in the way that I would say it. I like to give a woman enough rope that either she gonna be a cowgirl or she gonna hang herself. One of the two, right? Either she gonna take that rope, she gonna become a cowgirl, she gonna lasso in that little bull, time up, I got it. Or she gonna lasso that thing and she gonna wrap it around her own neck and hang herself from a pole. So you saw red flags but ignored the red flags, and we all have. I've done it. Seen some red flags and thought like, nah, it ain't that bad. Nah, I can handle that. Nah, I can fix that. She said she want to change that about herself. I can help her fix it. Mm-mm. Or they do something and you're like, nah. See, let me tell you something about your brain and your heart. You know your brain has neural pathways, right? And that's the neural pathways is through the process that you think. But your heart also has neural pathways, and through those neural pathways, you emotionalize things. Your gut, stomach brain, your stomach also have neural pathways. It thinks, it's instinctive. It doesn't rationalize, nor does it emotionalize. And when you see those red flags, your gut is telling you red flag, red flag, red flag. But either your heart brain will emotionalize the situation and cause you to ignore it, or your thinking brain will rationalize. You saw that red flag. Well, that only happened because this one time, and what had happened was, see, what had happened. No, or yeah, I know they did that, but I just care for them so much, and I think that they could be such a great person. Your instinct told you to leave Dodo Bird alone, to walk away from Refugio. But no, you just stayed with it because you didn't listen to your instinct. I've done it. I know you've done it. It's okay. But we have to learn to trust that instinctive brain that says, run, right? Don't fight for this, run from this. All right. So with age comes wisdom, but sometimes age comes alone. Exactly. Oscar Wilde. Exactly. But don't fall for the red flags. I'm gonna tell you right now. Now, does that mean a person can't ever make a mistake? No, it doesn't mean a person can't ever make a mistake. People do make mistakes. But what is the sincerity of the mistake? And most importantly than the sincerity of them recognizing that they've made a mistake and they apologize or whatever it is, the situation, what is their level of, what's a good word here? I'm going to use a religious word, even though I say, well, this is not a religious channel. What is their level of repentance? You see, true repentance is not saying, I'm sorry. It's fixing the situation. Go and fix it. Whatever problem you caused, go fix it. After you fixed it, don't let it happen again. Set up shit that makes sure that you don't repeat the same mistake. If a person has wronged you or have demonstrated a red flag and you brought that to their attention, if they are not willing to fix the situation, well, first, sincerely apologize. Second, make amends for that situation by whatever, depending upon whatever it is, but make amends for it if possible. And then set up a situation or a new lifestyle or whatever is needed to not do it again. You see what I'm saying? That's the only time frame that I am forgiving of what would be a red flag or a deal breaker or something like that. Now, there's some deal breakers I ain't never gonna forgive. You act violent towards me, but we done. We just done. There's no coming back from being violent towards me. We done. Point blank. So whatever, so there are, so I think probably shouldn't even put deal breakers into that whole scenario. Just red flags. Just red flags. Deal breakers are called deal breakers for a reason because they're freaking deal breakers. But red flags, yes, if they don't have that process, if they don't think that way, if they're not willing to demonstrate that, and then you watch them. Now you don't make them pay for it. You got your pound of flesh initially when they first realize that they were wrong or whatever has happened or whatever the red flag is. But you don't keep on make them pay for it. Just coming in with the. You don't make them. You don't keep doing that because now that's you. That's you showing a red flag that you're vindictive, right? That you want to punish somebody. You can't constantly punish somebody that you are trying to love or that you claim that you love. If you truly love them and you see them demonstrate those three things, then you let it go. Now you just learn to deal with it inside for you. And seeing them do that will help you. Actually, this is a whole nother video by itself. I might do this as a section by itself tomorrow. But seeing them do that, that will help you to heal from whatever that red flag or that offense that they call. Now, like I said, though, if it's certain red flags and you're early in the relationship and it's a red flag and you don't feel like going through all that bullshit, you need to leave them alone. Now, certain red flags, you just need to leave them alone. Like, if I recognize that a woman is only want to be with me for money, then I got to leave her alone. I'm not even, that's a red flag. So let me create that separation right there. That's a red flag that I'm saying is a red flag and it's something I don't want to deal with and I'm not going to deal with. I'm not going to try to convince you to be my co-pilot. I'm going to just let you be a passenger on somebody else's plane. You're just not flying with me. You're not riding with me. Get off the back of my bike. Okay, you can't ride on the back of the bike with me when you just, trying to do that. You see, I need a co-pilot. See, like when me and Angelina was leaving, we went on a cross-country motorcycle ride back in March. After we had collected all those cigars at the cigar conference in Vegas, I just made the comment, "Dang, we need a humidor with all these cigars we got." Next thing I know, she on the back of the bike. And then she leaned up. The humidor will be delivered to the house on Monday. That's co-pilot. We handling things. We getting shit done. We thinking about each other, and other times where she know I need something or I'm looking for something, she's like, boom, it just shows up, and it's something that's helpful, beneficial to the creation and the growth of our unit, co-pilot, right? But if you demonstrate you got the red flags, some of the red flags, you don't want to deal with them. Just let them go. Kick them to the curb. I ain't got time for that. Especially, for men, when you have a position in society or you make a certain amount of money, you can be a target. So you have to have your discernment about being that target. And I've been a victim of that. Well, I ain't been a victim of that target, but I've had people look at me as that target. And once I realize it, that's a red flag that I'm not I'm not trying to convince you nothing. Now, some things, like I said, some aspects of people that you may not necessarily like, it's not necessarily a red flag, but they want to come out of that. Before you engage with them emotionally, let them come out of that first. Let them do that on their own. You can be there and be a cheerleader. Yay. You want to clean your house because you want to be a spouse. All right, go clean your house. I'm going to stand way over here. I'll give you all the time in the world to fix it. But I'm not going to go in and try to fix it for you. No, you shouldn't go in and try to fix it for him. You with a guy, and he's like, well, I want to get this business started. Working on this business. I know I can make this business successful. I just need an opportunity. I got to make this business successful. It's all right for you to say, well, what's your credit score? Oh, my credit score. They don't want to help a black man out. They don't want to help a black man out. The credit thing, that's a scam. That's a scam of the white man and everything like that. They don't want to try to help a brother out. I'm trying to start this business. I'm trying to see. Don't start being like, well, let me tell you how to fix your credit, and I can get you this grant, and maybe you build your credit up here, and we can get a loan, and I can let you use this for collateral. Hell no. Don't do that. Don't do none of that. He up there whining and complaining and acting like a pal. Don't do that. Let that fool figure that out on his own. Just stand back. Been talking about this business for 12 years, man. Ain't seen you take a step. or however long. I don't care, depending on what it is, man. You've had opportunity to go out there and do this, do that, do this, do that to try to get this business right rolling, and you ain't taking none of those opportunities. No, 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 no. I'm not dealing with you. Stand back and watch him. Stand back and watch him. You'll see what kind of man he is. You'll see what kind of man he is, and then you can use your discernment to say, I don't want to be with him. I shouldn't be with him, and you will avoid a lot of bad situations that way. Like we talked about homosexuals earlier, you will avoid all the homosexuals if you just listen to them and watch them. You will avoid the homosexuals. But look, people, it's been great. This is the first live, okay, live I've done for this channel. This is the normal time frame. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, we will go live. I would appreciate if you guys were to submit questions or subject matters that you would like to talk about, because this channel, the lives are more for you guys and for you to be able to, for us to be able to conversate and get different perspectives. And I would love to have some of you guys as guests, anytime that we're on here, you can be a guest because the program that I'm using allows for you to come on as a guest. So, and I'm going to look forward to having guests, purposely have guests on here live. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me, because the most valuable thing to me that you guys have is time. And the fact that you're willing to give some of that time to me is very special. And I appreciate, the gift. I really do. I appreciate the gift. So I'm very thankful for that. So y'all have a great night. I will see you guys on videos all this week. Saturday is the weigh-in for anybody who's going to participate in the great weight loss challenge, because we're getting healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit. Gonna get it in. I'm gonna be fine again. Oh, y'all just wait, I'm gonna be fine. Ain't gonna be able to stop me. I think San Pedro, South San Pedro, or Padre Island, y'all got down here. Yes, indeed. So look forward to it. So always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations, and we're out. Nice.